Do you think, man, I got it, I got it figured out. You know, I met this girl, whatever it was. You know that this is my direction. You know, still doing what I want to do, but now I'm gonna get my shit together. Like, what was the reckoning moment for you?
30 years old, man. I can almost remember the day. It was the day that I found out I was going to be a father.
Oh wow, okay, well that will change you
So,
forever for sure.
yep. So that was honestly the changing point. I was still living in South Bend, Indiana, with Granite City, and ended up, moving up here and moving to Grand Rapids, and kind of starting the career over again up here, finding different places, getting to know her kids, and just making that really quick change from a single life to a family life. Yeah, definitely 30 years old, man. I just, that hit me and realized that, yeah, I can continue to do well in what I'm doing. But, my lifestyle had to change if I wanted to be, you know, a good father, which is, I think, the most important job of all.
Yeah, the most rewarding by far, right? So
Yes.
what's your girl's name? Let's give her a shout out. Shout out to her.
Sarah. Sarah, she is definitely, the greatest thing I think that's ever happened to me, man. And she's great. She's a great mother. She's a great partner. Very supportive, which you know as well as I do. It's very hard to find that in this industry.
Yep.
She knows that I have goals, and she recognizes it's me not putting my job in front of my family, but putting my family in front of everything else, giving them something that I didn't. So,
Yeah,
she's great.
and I think it's super important, you just said it, to find that soulmate that will put up with this industry because way too many of us, I'm one of them, that, either go through divorce or a terrible split up or have kids involved because this lifestyle is very, very difficult. And I think as a chef specifically, you have some real big time dreams out there. And sometimes the dream clouds your decision to be a better person. So that's what I learned. And I learned it about 32 years old. I joke around and say life started at 32. So 30, 32 is exactly correct. I think that's really when life changes for most people. And I'm proud of you, man. It sounds like you got it figured out. Kudos to Sarah for putting up with you, keeping you on the straight and narrow. I think it's awesome. But what do you do? What do you do for fun? I mean, I know you're a dad. I think it sounded like you were loading a gun a minute ago. You're a big hunter, right?
Yeah, man. Big hunter, avid hunter. I love to fish. I just love the outdoors, and good thing for me is, hunting brings food and, some of the best food. So I really get to, have fun with that. I think my biggest passion is duck hunting. It's renewed passion. I did it as a kid, and getting into this industry, you don't have time to go away on the weekends and hunt and do things. You just had time to work, establish yourself, and now in my life, I'm at a point where I get to spend a little bit more time doing that stuff, and I love it. That's my downtime.
So you know me. You don't know me in the last 10 years, but you know me pretty well. To be honest with you, I've never hunted a day in my life. I've always had a dream. If I was gonna go hunting, it would be duck hunting. And I think really actually, there's two things I want to do. One would be duck hunting, and the other one I think I've probably told you before is ice fishing. I just find those two
Right.
things extremely, extremely interesting. First of all, I've never done either. I've probably had opportunity to do both. Let's start with the duck hunting. Do you have a machine, or do you or give me your best duck call? Because I have met people that can do it with their mouth, and I think it's fantastic.
No, I don't have a machine. I definitely have duck calls, and I'm still learning myself.
Like
So I'm not
you
one of
do it
those guys.
yourself.
Yeah, I do it myself with a handheld call, and like I said, I'm still learning myself. There's some really talented guys out there, but I'm a beginner.
But is it a real thing? Like there's a I just did that myself. Is there like
Yeah,
but is there like a is that a, that's not fake? Like there's a real call that attracts ducks?
yeah. I mean, there's whistles, man. I've got whistles. I've got different species of duck calls, goose calls. Yeah, man. If you make the the right, gestures in your mouth, you can make some crazy sounds.
How was my example? Was my example pretty good?
It sounded like it maybe if I was ringing, if it was getting its neck rung, but, close.
All right. So my next question about hunting is: do you bring like let's just say you killed that duck? Do you bring it home and cook it?
Oh yeah, I do. No one in the house wants to eat anything, but I do. Me and my hunting buddy, main guy I hunt with, we definitely are all about it, and we don't put anything to waste. We do the gizzards, the heart, the liver.
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I'll eat it all.
Oh, it's great, and there's nothing better than going out and getting a couple fresh ducks and bringing them home. Usually you let them hang for about 3 days and just cure a little bit, and then do them up.
Let me share a funny story with you, and you'll laugh, and it just made me think of it. So I worked for Major League Baseball, and there was a baseball player on the team that I worked for who is an avid hunter. Most of these guys are on their off season. And this guy brings me in a cooler. It's early in the season, and he says, "Hey, I went dove hunting." And he says, "Can you do me a favor? Can you clean these doves? And we want them tonight, me and my buddies. We're at the stadium, me and my buddies for dinner. Can you wrap the breast," am I saying that right? The dove breast with bacon. And I, acting like a whole badass chef, like, "Yeah, I got you, man." So I open this cooler, and there's, 10 dove in there. And they're literally just still doves. Like, they're dead, but they have all the feathers on them. Like, I have no idea what the fuck I'm doing. So being young and thinking I'm cool, I reach in there, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to reach in there, and I'm going to pull the breast out. So explain to me if I'm doing it wrong. So I put my 2 fingers under its neck, and I pull the breast out with the fur and everything. The feathers, not fur. Feathers and everything. And I start like rubbing my fingers together like to get the feathers off. And to make a long story short, I'm doing this over and over and over. And all of a sudden I have all this shit on my hands, and I go to wash my hands. And I wash my hands, and I grab another dove, and now every feather on everything is literally from my fingertips to my elbow. And here comes this professional athlete and says, "What are you, fucking stupid? You don't wash your hands while you're doing that?" So, can you relate to that? It's embarrassing. I still tell that story to some people that go hunting, but I have no idea. So was I doing it the right way?
No, I would say you're not doing it the right way, man. You pluck the bird, and just clean it out, when it comes to a dove, partridge, anything like that. You just, nice fillet knife and cut the breasts out. And,
no, I remember literally digging like my index finger in there and just ripping it out. But then there's so much stuff just stuck to me. And I thought by washing my hands I'd be better. And needless to say, I don't think I prepared that guy any dove, and he never asked me again. But I find it very intriguing that that people go hunting. I never grew up hunting. I didn't live in that part of the world. I say that because it's New Jersey. We weren't big into hunting over there. I've lived all over the country now, and I've met a ton of people like yourself that love it. I'm not a big gun fan, so it would take some time, but I think the attraction of the duck hunting to me is sitting in that little box that you guys call a duck blind or whatever, and literally just sitting there and drinking bourbon or rum or something and watching you shoot ducks. I think it would be fantastic.
Yeah, man, I think that if you came back up to Michigan, we could kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
Oh, shit, I like that. Is there
we go out on the water, and we cut out the ice. We go out on the water for duck hunting, man, when it's over, and we actually break out the ice,
But there's a season, right? There is a duck hunting season, right? That's a thing.
Yep. It goes into December here up in Michigan. It goes through the end of December, and then you got late goose season in January. So you got to get through the ice. You got to break through so you can ice fish at the same time.
Yeah, I want to sit in that little shanty. Same thing. Drink some rum and watch some TV. And do you do all that as well?
Fireball.
Oh, Fireball. You are. That's funny because I have a buddy who I call the Fireball King, and he's about your age. So I think that's an age thing. Back when I was your age, it was Jaeger, but now it's Fireball. I agree with you. Yeah, people love.
That was what we did in the season, but now I don't drink anymore. So,
not at all.
This season, no, not at all, man. you know, I've got some stomach issues that I had colitis, which is kind of like Crohn's, just not as severe, and
Okay.
alcohol's no good for it, man. So I decided to kick it, and you know, I haven't felt better.
I remember smoking, drinking. We all did that, partying every night. That's part of the chef life.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I quit smoking about 4 or 5 years ago. So I've never been this heavy in my life. I think I eat more because I don't smoke, but I do feel much better for sure.
Right.
So what was the turning point? So you met Sarah, you figured it out. You're 30 years old. It sounds like you have a wonderful life going on. You know, what's next for Matt? I mean, where are we going? I know you want to have some ownership. I mean, are you trying to open your own place, get involved in what you're doing? I'm only asking because I had a great period of my time where I did work for myself.